I believe the empires we studied were weaker with diversity. Not because diversity is bad, I believe that now we are stronger with it, but at the time we researched, diversity only drew people apart. My first example of this is the Ottoman Empire. The Ottomans were generally Muslim, the other religions existed in the form of millets. Millets are communities ruled by a religious leader. These millets had religious freedom. In return for this privilege, the Ottomans requested a jizya tax. This tax was in the form of janissaries. Janissaries were boys from the millets who were taken using the devshirme system, which was established in the 14th century. Although the millets were allowed religious freedom, the Ottomans converted the janissaries to Islam. Only Muslims were allowed in the Ottoman government. This was a clear hierarchy, and anyone who wasn't Muslim was near the bottom. This system responded to diversity by allowing it for a price and treating those who were different as less than equal. On top of that, one of the reasons the Ottomans failed were disagreements with the religious leaders who ran the millets. The Mughals are an interesting example when it comes to religious diversity because their views on it changed depending on the leader. Through Akbar the Great's beliefs and leadership, the Mughal Empire was religiously diverse. In 1579, Akbar removed the jizya tax, allowing free and full diversity when it came to religion. The jizya tax is a system where people are taxed in exchange for religious rights. Unfortunately, other leaders didn't share the same view. This culminated in Almoghir II, whose decision led to the destruction of the Mughal Empire. He didn't share the same beliefs that Akbar had. He reinstated the jizya tax, and soon after, the Mughal Empire fell in 1761. The Mughal Empire responded to diversity by arguing about it, ultimately leading to their demise. This isn't to say religious diversity is bad, but in a more primitive time, trying to force religious freedom only led to its removal. The Qing dynasty responded to diversity by making the head shaving decree. To demonstrate their power, the Qing dynasty threatened to kill any man who didn't shave their head. In the Ming dynasty's culture, a man's hair represented his connection to his father. By forcing people to shave their hair, the Qing dynasty dehumanized the people they wanted to conquer. This was successful. Within a few years, the Qing dynasty had been accepted as the ruler of the area. They took away people's liberties and diversity to force conformity. This allowed them to have complete control over the nation. Their people were scared of them and therefore accepted them as their rulers. The Tokugawa shogunate was isolated, and this isolation allowed them to develop not just economically but culturally. They responded to diversity by blocking it out, and this allowed them to have a booming economy. During this time period of around 260 years, from 1603 to 1867, they experienced rampant growth. They only traded with close nations and made almost everything they needed themselves. They made many long-lasting discoveries and inventions, all thanks to their focus within. The Tokugawa shogunate banned Christianity in 1614. Buddhism was one of the only religions practiced for the most part. The Tokugawa shogunate is an example of the fact that although diversity may have its benefits, a nation that is on the same page will get more done. Modern countries should allow diversity because it is a basic human right and it promotes positive change. Governments need to protect diversity and encourage it. Diversity and interconnectedness are some of the best ways to grow, not just as a community, but as people. By sharing information from different and diverse groups, we can learn and build on each other's ideas. While each empire had its own unique take on diversity, each with its own shortcomings and successes, none of them did it perfectly. That's why we study history. On one hand, to learn from the mistakes of those who came before us, but on the other, to learn about their success stories. We learn from these empires that diversity is a fragile topic. Therefore, diversity should be aimed for and fought for by developed countries, but this should be done carefully to avoid repeating the mistakes of those who came before us.